Morning guys, we're back out here at the pond. Looks like it's going to be another dreary, light, misty, rainy day, but we're going to get through all these sets. Maybe today's the day those otters come through here at this pond. Anyway guys, we're going to ease down here and I'll check back in with you and can hopefully show you a catch down here. Looks like our Long Spring is tripped this morning. Nothing in it. And get it reset back. Alright, there we go guys. So let's set back. Let's go up here and see if maybe whatever trip that's in this trap. I'm not seeing any movement whatsoever. It's still bedded right there where we put it, guys. He's down here and check on these others. I need to reevaluate, guys. It's been a week or better and we hadn't caught a beaver yet. I know there's some beaver in here. Well, there should be beaver in here. Hadn't really seen any fresh mud or seen any fresh signs since we've been here of beaver working, but there should be beaver in here with all the dams. I don't know if somebody else has got in here and trapped it before I have and got them caught or what, but it's part of it. A lot of you try to learn as much as you can and get as good as you can. But there's always a big part of trapping is the unknown, and I think that's why a lot of us are attracted to it, and why a lot of us fall in love with it, is because you're always experiencing new things, and you're never, once you think you got it figured out, Mother Nature and those animals learn you a lesson real quick, reminding you that you don't. So you new guys that are setting places like this, not making catches, just realize us guys that's been at it for a while are doing the same thing. And don't get frustrated. Don't let that be the thing that discourages you and keeps you from it, because it's part of it, guys. Now I'm just going to walk this ditch. My truck's back up here on the edge of this pond levee. I'm just going to walk this ditch all the way back out to the road, guys, and I'm going to look for some new sign. Now this was that tree we found that first time we come over here scouted, and I never have climbed down here. I believe this ditch is probably going to be too deep for me to climb down in there. You can see our dam that we've got set just right up here. I don't see an obvious crossover. Just looking from here, guys, I'm not seeing any mud. I'm not seeing any castor mounds along the side. I'm not seeing any fresh sign of beaver being in here. So I really don't know what's happened besides a human predator getting them already. I don't know, because as dry as we were this summer, I mean, they were in here where this water was at. If there was a beaver around, they were in here in this water. I don't know, since we started getting the rain and the ditches have started filling up, if maybe they moved out and moved to another area. I don't know, but it's just things you got to think of and try to figure out. And that's what makes you a little better at figuring this game out, guys, is just trying to figure out why the animal did what it did. And then you just adjust to that. And sometimes you'll have success, and sometimes you'll realize you were right. A lot of times what you try won't work and you'll realize you're wrong. But that's all part of the process of getting better. Guys, here's some old chewings. You know, we know they were in here. Some old trees that they've knocked down here. Well, guys, I'm just going to continue walking this out and looking for any fresh sign. I'm not seeing any peeled sticks floating in this ditch, which we did just get that rain. That rain would have pushed it up. But even at those dams, I'm not seeing any fresh sticks pushed up and holding there. So I'm kind of beginning to think that these beaver just aren't in here right now. But anyway, guys, we're going to leave it set. This property owner is wanting the otter caught. And if we leave these sets out long enough, it's going to pick up some otter when the otter come through to go to visit that pond. But anyway, guys, I'll quit jabbering, get off here, and we'll check back in with you here in a little bit. All right, guys, we're headed down here to our bridge, the new bridge we got set down here yesterday. All those different variety of sets. Right here, guys, just before I get to it, there's a culvert. And we got plenty of traps in the truck. And we look both sides of this culvert. We got plenty of traps. We're gonna have to come right by here every day anyway. We don't have to get out of the truck. And we could set a couple more traps right here and pick up an otter if it come through. No, guys, if you're out in an area trapping, guys, set your way to and your way from those areas. Just any of these little ditches. Those otter, when the otters are in the area, they're going to be up and down every one of these drainage ditches. So throw some more traps out, guys. Now, I'm not going to do it today, but if I was in the mood to really put some fur in the truck, I would definitely have traps. Just any area that is neck down. This ditch with all this grass and stuff may be a better ditch to set for mink instead of that ditch we got set. But and we may end up doing that if we don't catch anything on those traps. We may end up bringing those mink traps over here, and I'm wanting to catch mink, so that motivation of me wanting to get them will give me the motivation to crawl up and down through these briars, the side of this ditch, and get down there and set them. But anyway, don't pass these places up, guys. All right, guys, we made it back up here to where we got those new sets put in yesterday. And guys, when you're in these areas trapping and you see someone pull into a residence, or a farmer pull into a farm shop, or a car pass by and you're standing there, try to stop and talk to them. I did that this morning. As I was pulling over here, I saw a farmer pull into his farm shop, and I just pulled in, introduced myself, told him what I was doing, and he instantly had a smile on his face and was glad to see me. And not only is he telling me about this dam here, these beaver that we got set yesterday, but he told me there's some beaver in a pond over here as well. So that's all you got to do, guys, to get more areas to trap. Right over here, this hole, just where that little point comes out here, just behind it, there's a hole there, and we've got a 330 sitting in it, guys. I can see that 330 is still set. Look right down here, my 330 is still set. And I ain't gonna lie, guys, I'm a little disappointed. I was really expecting to pick some up. But now, us not making any catches, with that dam washing out down here, that water leaving this area is going to make those beavers move. Now, I was assuming, because I drove this ditch out and there's no more dam up here, I was assuming that those beavers were living in this section of this last dam, this upper part. But with him telling me there's a pond that the beavers are in up here, that pond always holds waters. So this family group of beaver know that's ponds there. And when this ditch is dry, they're going to move up into that pond. They've got a house in that pond. When the water's in the ditch, they're going to move back over here to the ditch, and they're going to build dams to hold water, to build a reservoir of water that they can live in and work in. That's what beavers do, guys. So try to picture why they're moving, where they're moving to. Not only know your ditch when you're out here scouting, know the whole area. The whole area around where you're at, how the ditches connect to each other, what other big bodies of water that are there constantly that don't drain. And one way to do that, guys, is to stop and talk to the people that live in that area. and they're gonna introduce you, and you're gonna have access to all kinds of land that you'll be able to trap. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna ease down here, and we've got a couple of muskrat sets. We've got a bank den set over here that we think was probably housing some muskrats, but we're gonna get down here and see if possibly got anything else caught. These logs right here, these logs laying across these ditches, guys, watch for scat, watch for trails at both ends of them. You're gonna have animals crossing these ditches using those logs. Guys, so we saw this hole right here yesterday, but there was no tracks going in and out of it. Two of them here, no bank den, and neither one of them have got any tracks going into them. The water's out of them. Guys, right here, when we got up here yesterday, we were see these small chew sticks. You can see this green piece of river cane here. We believe that there's muskrats going in and out of this hole, so we just set this smaller conibear in that hole there. Guys, right here is one of my mink sets that I put out yesterday, and the other one's right over here on this side. See if I can locate exactly where it's at. Right here, guys. So right here where I placed that other mink set, just up underneath that little bit of a cut bank right there, there's a little hole going up in there. And if there's muskrats or mink over here, they're going to be checking that hole out. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get back up here. We'll go up here and we're going to check out this pond area he was telling me about. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when I get there. All right, guys, we're just up at dams, just down here, maybe a quarter of a mile down here where that dam is. We just said all I did was drive right up this ditch, guys, up here to this pond, and this is the pond he's talking about. So before I grab any traps or anything else, I'm just going to walk around and look, see if I can find a crossover or how they're getting from this ditch over to that pond. And it could be over land, or it could be through this culvert right here, guys. So even though this culvert's dry, those beaver, this is probably where they're going underneath this road over here to this pond. Looky there, right there's a hole in the bank. They're probably coming out of this culvert. They've got a hole right here. Now I'm not seeing any fresh tracks, but I'll come right over here looking, guys, and there is beaver tracks coming out of this culvert. Look inside the culvert, they've got it built up right here on this edge, and I can even see another dam and debris down there about halfway, guys. So this doesn't get much easier to set, them coming from that ditch to this pond. We're going to grab a 330, we're going to put it right here in this ditch, guys. We may take and put another 330 right here in this culvert. I'm down here in this ditch now, guys, and I am seeing some tracks in these leaves. That hole, I'm not seeing any fresh tracks, guys, but actually right here, some toenails. Right there, guys, 3 toenails where one went up in there. Now with this being right here on the county road, I don't want to put a 330. I don't care to set that culvert because someone's going to actually have to stop, get out of their truck to see that. But if I put a trap in this hole right here, that county road's right here, somebody's just going to look over here and see that conibear sitting in that hole. So guys, I was just going to walk over here to this pond and take a look. That hole going across there, We're gonna see if it goes all the way through and comes into this pond here. And I'm not really able to tell right there. If I had my waders on, I'd climb down in this pond, walk the edge of it right here and see if there isn't a bank den on this edge somewhere. Right here's a little crossover dam they got built, guys. Put a 330. Actually, guys, said I was going to set that ditch with a 330. That would be ideal if you could. Here in Arkansas, we got to have our 330s on dry land. So what I'm going to do is put a snare in that ditch, because I can guard that with a snare on dry land. So that's what we're going to do there, in both that culvert and that drainage. Right here too, guys, we could hang another snare just coming off of that crossover right there. Guys, there's no doubt those beaver are going to have a bank den in this pond somewhere. And a lot of times in my area, that's where they start at. A colony, a young pair of 2-year-olds that move into a pond like this, they'll create a home in the bank, and then they'll start working from there. They'll start going down the drainages and blocking them and holding water, and that always leads to a bigger ditch, and that's normally where I find them at. But just looking at the trees and the chewings, I'm not seeing a lot of fresh sign. The farmer did tell me that his son has killed 2 or 3 of them with a gun out here shooting them, so there may not be as many as what I was originally thinking in there. But while we're over here, we're going to get a few sets put out. I think what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm just gonna set a snare down here in this little drainage. Probably put a snare right there in that culvert. All right, guys, so from standing over there on that corner where we were at a while ago, we couldn't see some of this fresher chewing. Now this, it wasn't done last night, but it's not that old, guys. A little bit of chewing here, and you can tell those beaver have been in here for quite a while. Those farmers, by shooting them, they're helping get the number down and keep the number down, but they're never getting rid of the problem. Intake, drainage on this pond coming in right here. Now, the thing about my area is me contacting that farmer, and you just build your area up. They were getting here, let him know we got these beavers out. All of a sudden, he doesn't have a trouble for a couple of seasons. Doesn't have to get the tractor and the backhoe and constantly dig dams out, and can move his water fairly easily. He's going to appreciate you out here trapping his beaver, and it's going to lead to more places to trap. And a lot of times it leads to properties that you trap every season. Guys, this fairly, this tree right here, they dropped it. It's been a while since they dropped it, but you can tell where they're chewing some of those limbs off of it to feed on. Hadn't been too long since they dropped it. We're at the truck. We're gonna grab a couple of snares. I got a snare here ready to go. All it needs is an earth anchor put on it. We've got us an earth anchor here. Actually, we got a swivel right here, guys. I've got 2 snares. We're gonna put 2 snares up there. So I'm gonna put this swivel, or this earth anchor that's got the swivel on it, we're gonna put it on this D-ring. All right, so we got that snare ready to go, guys. Lay it right there. Got us another anchor here. It's got a swivel on it here. We're going to use our fencing pliers to open that swivel up. We'll drop it down here in our tool bag. Guys, we're just going to take this other swivel that's on this snare already, and we're going to put it on this split ring, close it up. we go, guys. Now we got us another earth anchor and on a snare ready to set up. All we need is our snare wire here, our fencing pliers to cut it to the length that we need, and then we just need our pogo driver and our hammer, and we'll step down here and get these sets put in, guys. That's one good thing too about these snares and sitting on the side of this road, is if someone does happen to see it and wants to take it, you're not out much at all using this snare. But anyway, guys, we'll put our first one in right here in this culvert. I've got a stick right here. We're going to use it to mount that snare to. Alright, there we go, guys. So now we got that snare there. We're just going to take some of this debris, build up on the side of it, and hopefully we'll have a beaver here before too long. I just talked to the farmer again, guys, just before I grabbed this stuff out of the truck, and he said his son does get out here quite often, try to pick these beaver off, but I believe there's one or two in here still, and we're over here, got this ditch set up now. Would have known this before we set the ditch, I might not have come over here. I was hoping to have a big colony, and I thought there'd be, you know, a couple of bigger beaver in here, but after talking to him, and that may be what happened on that big ditch, very well possible that's what happened on that big ditch where we're not picking up the beaver. And I really thought there's a big colony in there. Guys, I still live in pretty rural part of America, a lot of farming country, and these farmers constantly have issues with beaver. They're always fighting the beaver, and those farmers' kids like to hunt, fish, and outdoors and do, and they may not be a trapper, but they're going to be taking every opportunity they can to not only help their dad, but to get out and shoot some guns and enjoy the outdoors. So that's an issue that you're going to have. And not so, in today's world, a lot of people don't communicate. Neighbors don't communicate like they do. So it's not common knowledge that this is going on, so word doesn't get around. And property owners that live right beside each other, one of them thinks he's got a beaver problem, and the other neighbor's taking care of the problem. And the one that thinks he's got a problem calls me because I'm a beaver trapper and wants me to take care of it for him, whereas the other property owner takes care of his own problems and is already taking care of that problem without the other neighbor knowing. So if I had to guess, that's probably what I would guess is happening at that ditch over there. But that being said, we know that the otter are gonna come through eventually, check out that new fish pond that he's been stocking. So we're gonna continue to make our trip over there every morning. Briars or something else. tangled up in them now. I think we hit a tree root there. I'm going to try to push through it. But those otters, guys, it's worth our time. Pick up a few otter. It's on our way to these other places. So it's worth our time to come out here, just stop in there every morning and check it out. As I normally put an S hook on down here and wrap that wire around it just to secure it a little bit better. I almost got my wire too short here, so we're not going to make that bend in it. We're going to need that little bit extra length to get that snare positioned where we want it. And I'm going to have to, since I'm pushing it at a downward angle, I'm going to have to bend it just up a little bit to hold that collar on. And oh, I cut it short. I don't want to do all that over again, guys. We're going to see if we can make it work. Alright, so we're just going to have to make it work there. That's about the spot that I want it. We'll see if we can find some stuff to block it down with on this side so they don't come down this side of the ditch. We'll do that right there. Alright. Here we go, guys. That kind of blocks down that other edge, pushes them right through that snare. So that's the two sets here, guys. We're not going to put any more here. We're not being a lot of beaver. We're just hoping to pick up the one or two that are left in here. Got the culvert set. Maybe we can pick up some muskrats and minks over here since we're not going to be getting a lot of beaver. But I can get over and get those other sets we got out checked, guys. That bridge, good possibility we got a catch underneath it. And yeah, just keep moving now. All right, guys, we made it over here to our big dam, and I went down to the end, turned around, coming back, guys, and our rabbit decoy has made its first catch. So we're gonna walk across this dam real quick, get over there and get that taken care of, show you guys what it is. I'm gonna take my little hammer troll with me, guys. I've got some just some beaver meat, some of my predator bait that I made up here, a little bit of skunk fat. We're going to carry it over there with us and use it to rebait that set here in a minute. Let's get over here. Let's get over here and see what that rabbit caught for us. All right, 330 still set here, guys. Our foothold's up here on the top. Dam's getting hard to walk across. 330 still set here, guys. Our dam crossing foothold still right here where we put it. Let's see what we got. Woohoo, guys. So we know that rabbit works. That big old dude there taking a nap. Yep. Oh, check our cat set while we're here, guys. Little disappointment. A catch is a catch, right? All right, guys, so our cat set's still here. Looking in some of this fresh mud stuff, guys, I don't see any tracks. So I don't believe one's been through here. I'm gonna get this feller taken care of and get this set remade. He's got it tore up a little bit here now, and actually, guys, we didn't make a dirt hole here. We don't need any of that. All we had was a flat, basically a scent post set. And this dude was either checking that scent out, or he was just the one using this trail coming down through here, because we just had this just basically a blind set here with a little bit of scent. And there's our trap bed in that trail, guys. We're just going to clean it out. Get that trap reset. Get it bedded right back down in there, secured. Just bed that, push that mud and dirt around that outside edge of that jaw there, guys. And we'll just take some of this loose duff that's on the top here, and we're just gonna blend that trap in, guys. Come back in here and pull any sticks or anything that might get in between those jaws. Pull those out. Just want it lightly blended in. You don't have to use dirt. Sift it over the top, guys. There we go. We're just gonna kind of open this trail back up. Build that side back up, guys. We'll take this little bit of stick right there. Right here's our trap jaws. We're going to place that stick across that trap. And what that's going to do is going to make them put their foot down before that stick to be able to step over that stick. And hopefully that's right on our trap pan there. All right, guys. So that's remade. I tell you what, we got this bait right here. We carried it over here. We're going to use it. We got our rabbit sitting there. It's going to add just a little bit of scent to that rabbit, guys. We're just going to pull a little bit of this bait off here. Well, we're just going to shove it right up underneath that clump of grass there. We got our scent up here on top. And that set's remade. We got this bait, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and step over here and put a little bit more of this bait down in that cat hole. And we're gonna see if we can't pick up another possum for tomorrow. Alright. That's a little bit of my homemade bait, guys. All it is some beaver meat ground up with a little bit of muskrat meat ground up and a little bit of bobcat meat ground up, mixed together. We're gonna take some of this sticky muskrat scrapings, shove down in that hole there too. Since we got, I'm sorry, this is a skunk fat, some skunk little. I saved the good fat. I save it for the buyer, and this had a little bit of meat on that skunk fat, so I want to shove that down in that hole. All right, guys, we'll get over and check under that bridge. At least we didn't strike out this morning. We got us that possum there, and we'll see you guys when we get over there. All right, everybody, we made it over here to this last location, and I'm gonna make my round like I've been doing, checking all these traps, guys. Today's video hadn't really been a lot of catches. It's been a lot of talking again, just my opinions, my thoughts. I know some of you guys like that, but I'm gonna keep on that same path. I'm gonna make my rounds. You guys can see if the trap's empty or if it's tripped, or if I got to reset it. You'll know what I'm doing. But while I'm doing that, I'm gonna talk about something else, guys. My opinion, guys, I took the long road. When I decided to start trapping, I didn't join any associations. There weren't any other trappers in my area, so I didn't. Our cable's taut. Can't help it, guys. Can't help it. But there wasn't any other trappers in my area, and so all my my thinking, my thoughts, that they're mine. Nobody else taught me anything. I've never been on a line with another trapper. All my lessons come the hard way. So my thoughts are just my thoughts, guys. We had and that's all they are. They're just my lessons that I've learned. And don't be like me. Don't take that long road. Find some YouTube channels, learn from them. I did do a little bit of that. But I didn't join. I didn't get to know any local trappers, guys. And that was a mistake on my part, because it made me have to take that hard road. And those go join your local associations, your state associations. Not only are you going to meet some of the best people that's in this world, but you're going to gain a wealth of knowledge from those old trappers and those guys that are out there doing it. You're going to learn different ways to do it. Now, it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I decided to do that. And since then, I have learned so much, guys. But not only are you meeting those guys, you're supporting something that you like to do, guys. You got your deer hunters, your duck hunters, your turkey hunters, your fishermen, guys. All those are big communities. The trapping community's small, and it's because of people like me that's too stubborn that I can do it on my own. I don't need help. It's stubbornness. Trappers are stubborn, I guess. And that's the reason we don't come together like a lot of the other groups do. That's something we need to change. And start going to meetings, start going to demos. Contribute your time. And if you got money, guys, contribute to the thing you like to do in the outdoors. And for me, I like to do all those other things, guys, but I really like to trap more than any of the rest. So it took me a long time to learn that lesson. I'm hoping that it doesn't take you guys as long to learn it as it did me, because all that stubbornness, all it did was hurt me. It didn't put me in connection with other like-minded people, and I wasted a bunch of years because of it. But that's changed now, and because of this YouTube channel and because of me joining association, I went to nationals this year. Wow, what a trip that was. Hopefully I can make some more. Need to make nationals back down here in the south again, guys. If any of you that plan that are watching or listening. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it. Sorry for all the jabbering. Not much catching today, but our rabbit decoy finally made a catch. Was it the rabbit sitting there that done it? Was it the scent that we put on that tree? Or was it just the path that possum was taking? We'll never know for sure, guys. But what we do know is we got that big old possum this morning, so that's exciting. But anyway, thanks everybody again. Thanks for watching. The channel's growing. Guys, when I started this, it was just me and a camera, and I had no clue what to expect. I just wanted to give it a shot. And I can't say how overwhelmed and amazing it's been, the journey, doing these things. I never would have, not only the trappers that are watching the video, but just the YouTube community itself, guys. It's unbelievable. these guys that are out here putting videos up like I am. So check out some of them, guys. If you're just watching my channel, there's a lot of guys that are like me out here putting this same type of material out. Do some searches, check their channels out, support them like you've been supporting me, guys, and let's build this community. Let's try to get some youngsters involved, and yeah, a lot of people are missing out on this great sport. But guys, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.